What's good? It's Wood. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are into the fight talk. We have Tyson Fury, 32 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw, defending his WBC heavyweight title against Derek Chisora, 33 wins and 12 losses. This is the third time that Fury and Derek Chisora have fought. This is kind of a fight that fight fans weren't really asking for. And that's no disrespect to Derek Chisora. I mean, he is one of the more action-packed and fan-friendly fighters in the game. And I don't think anybody's displeased with him having this great opportunity to fight for the title, to earn a mega payday. I mean, when you look at the guy's fight-by-fight schedule over the years, yes, he has kind of become a win-some, lose-some type of guy. But the guy's fought Tyson Fury twice. He's fought Dillian White twice. He's fought Joseph Parker twice. Kubrat Pulev twice. Alexander Usyk. David Haye. I mean, those are two of the best cruiserweights turned heavyweights in modern history, right? He fought Vitaly Klitschko. I mean, he was Vitaly Klitschko's second to last fight of Vitaly Klitschko's career. So he's pretty much fought the who's who. Robert Helenius. I mean, it really doesn't get much more difficult than his fight-by-fight schedule. Like, you would really have to search hard to find somebody who has more or less just fought them all. No, he hasn't fought Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua, but aside from that, he's pretty much fought the, much of the who's who in the recent heavyweight eras. And so, yeah, when you have that type of a schedule, you are going to be a win some, lose some type of guy. So if anybody deserves a payday, it's somebody like Derek Chisora. But it's just that Tyson Fury has already beaten him twice. So it's not like it's a win one, then lost one, and then we have the rubber match. Or in the case of, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, it was like a draw, and then Tyson Fury winning the second and third. No, this was Tyson Fury beating Derek Chisora way back in 2011 is when they first fought, and it was like a wide unanimous decision win. We're talking like 10 rounds to 2 in their first fight. But then their second fight was a few years later, so it's like, okay, well, Chisora lost pretty handedly in that first fight, but then he's, racked up some wins since that. Granted, since that first Tyson Fury fight, he had lost to Helenius in a very controversial decision. Then he lost to Vitaly Klitschko. Then he got knocked out by David Haye. David Haye was actually the first to knock Derek Chisora out. But then after those losses, Derek Chisora won a few fights. One of those wins was against Malik Scott, knocked him out in the 6th round. He beat Kevin Johnson. So it was like, okay, well, Derek Chisora now has even more experience. Let's see if he has a better shot in the rematch against Tyson Fury. Well, it was a fun fight, and Tyson Fury also showed a lot of his dexterity. He switched stances. He fought on his back foot, then came in on the inside, started doing a lot of work and just putting the pressure and the weight onto Derek Chisora. And he ended up finishing Derek Chisora. Not a straight up knockout, but like it was stopped after the 10th round or something like that. But yeah, that was a stoppage win for Tyson Fury. So it didn't get too much better for Derek Chisora in the rematch. And even that rematch was like 8 years ago now. So now we're going into like the trilogy fight. I guess, yeah, it's still considered a trilogy fight, just not a rubber match or anything. But their third fight, and Tyson Fury has, since emerged to become the, heavyweight champion, beating Vladimir Klitschko back in 2015, and is still undefeated to this day. And he hasn't fought like the who's who of the heavyweights. Like Tyson Fury still has yet to fight Anthony Joshua. And for a moment towards the end of this year, we thought we were going to get perhaps Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, but then it quickly became evident that, yeah, this isn't really realistically going to happen. They're not going to, secure the location and then agree on the fight date. And I think the purse splits were agreed to, but there was just too much business to handle. And then you heard a lot of the rhetoric from Tyson Fury and then from Eddie Hearn. It just sounded like they weren't totally just committed to making it happen, at least within that window that Tyson Fury was presenting, where he was saying it has to be December 3rd. And it just seemed like Tyson Fury was hell-bent to fight on that date, and the business just didn't come together. But Tyson Fury still seemed adamant about wanting to fight early December. And so he then extended the offer to Derek Chisora, and here we are. Even though it's a little bit weird that Derek Chisora, another Eddie Hearn promoted fighter, is able to fight on the date that Anthony Joshua was also, given the opportunity to fight on. But it was Tyson Fury who seemed like he kept on presenting the offer, and then when he wouldn't hear back or get a signed contract or something like that in return within like 48 hours, then he would rescind the offer. It got a little bit ridiculous, but it did result in some good comedy if you were watching Tyson Fury's Instagram live when he was, calling him out saying, AJ, I'm waiting, AJ. Like, it got a little bit entertaining. But, Tyson Fury now, he's just pretty much fighting for legacy. Like, he did beat Klitschko for the title, had a couple, bad fights in between after that 3-year-long layoff where it looked like he truly was retired and was not going to come back to the ring. Blew up in weight like crazy, was out of the ring for like 3 years or something, came back, had 2 pretty easy fights against Sefer Seferi and Francisco Pineda. And then he had that first Deontay Wilder fight where he had the iconic second time he got dropped in that fight. In the last round, Wilder decked him with the right hand. Tyson Fury hit the canvas, was motionless for like the first 4 to 5 seconds of Jack Reese's 10 count, and then quickly just started getting up, beat the 10 count. I'm not going to get into whether it was a slow count or not, but he made it back to his feet in around 10 seconds. And to Jack Reese's credit, he did continue with the count because a lot of people would have seen Tyson Fury just flat on the canvas, motionless for those first 3, 4, 5 seconds, and would have just waved it off. And that would have totally altered the course of history if that first fight resulted in a Deontay Wilder knockout over Tyson Fury. But Jack Reese, again, to his credit, continued the count, and then it ended up resulting in a controversial draw. And then 2 fights later, after the Tom Schwartz and Otto Wallin fights for Tyson Fury, he then had the rematch with Deontay Wilder. And it was probably Tyson Fury's, maybe his greatest performance to date. Like, he looked remarkable, just absolutely like a nightmare in that rematch where Deontay Wilder couldn't get anything going. And it was all one-side traffic. And then that resulted in stopping Deontay Wilder in the 7th round. And then they had the third fight about a year and a half later. And remember, there was like the idea of Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua between those second and third fights against Deontay Wilder, where, it was Wilder who activated the stipulated clause, the rematch clause, and Anthony Joshua was kind of left high and dry and then had to defend against his mandatory Alexander Usyk. So Anthony Joshua wasn't happy with Team Tyson Fury about that one. And that also kind of altered Anthony Joshua's career if you really think about it. But they eventually had the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder trilogy fight, and that one resulted in truly a classic. That might be the best fight out of all 3 of those fights. One of them was a dominant stoppage win for Tyson Fury. Again, the other one was a controversial draw, but it didn't have the same type of action that the third fight did, where Deontay Wilder dropped Tyson Fury multiple times again, and Tyson Fury dropped Deontay Wilder multiple times as well, and it ended up in an 11th round knockout win for Tyson Fury. Great fight. And, for those who want to exalt Tyson Fury's legacy, and he is, one of the greatest heavyweights I've ever seen. He just doesn't have like the fight-by-fight resume that would, measure up with like a Lennox Lewis or a, obviously Muhammad Ali or Joe Louis or any of the, the greats who people are putting into like their top 5 all-time heavyweights. I think that Tyson Fury is a top 5 all-time talent, where whether he's fighting against George Foreman or Muhammad Ali, I mean, you name it, I would give Tyson Fury a good chance against just about anybody. Mike Tyson, even Lennox Lewis, one of the Klitschko brothers, whoever you want to put in there, Larry Holmes. I mean, you've got a 6'9" guy who knows how to fight off his back foot, knows how to switch stances, has at least good enough reflexes to slip a lot of punches, has better footwork than a lot of 6'3" to 6'5" guys. Yeah, Tyson Fury is going to be a problem for anybody. The one complaint that people have is his fight-by-fight resume. And you can't like really elevate the Otto Wallin win, because when they made that fight, Tyson Fury versus Otto Wallin, it was like a who? It just so turned out that Otto Wallin might end up being better than anybody would have anticipated or expected. So that is a win that's going to age well. I mean, we'll see. I really wanted to see Dillian White versus Otto Wallin, or I just wanted to see Otto Wallin fight like another top 10-ish guy, like a Joseph Parker or a Derek Chisora, right? Something to further validate Otto Wallin as being a good fighter. It just seems like he's waiting for like the perfect opportunity rather than maybe taking a pretty good opportunity. Like I wouldn't mind seeing Otto Wallin versus like Zhang Jie Li or somebody like that. But when Tyson Fury fought Dillian White, dominated just about every round, and then knocked him out with a vicious uppercut in the 6th round. That was a win that kind of adds to the legacy where it's like, okay, you fought another top 5, top 7 heavyweight. Props, because that's what your resume's been missing. You've got the Klitschko win, you've got 2 Deontay Wilder wins, and if for anybody who then wants to call Deontay Wilder a bum, you can't call Deontay Wilder a bum and exalt Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury's crown jewel is pretty much those 2 wins against Deontay Wilder. Those wins over Wilder are hugely important to the legacy of Tyson Fury. So it's like you can't have it both ways. You either acknowledge Deontay Wilder is an absolute devastator and a nightmare of a fighter and a damn good fighter. Whether or not you think he's a Hall of Famer, that's another discussion. But you've got to acknowledge how damn good Deontay Wilder is to truly illuminate and spotlight how good Tyson Fury is. You can't call one a bum and the other one of the greatest of all time. That argument just doesn't work. But yeah, that subsequent win against Dillian Whyte did do a lot to further elevate Tyson Fury's legacy. And this fight against Derek Chisora, this trilogy fight, to me, does not do the same thing. And here's the thing. When we look at Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora, again, I love that Derek Chisora is getting this payday. And I do like that Tyson Fury is deciding to stay busy. There were so many more interesting matchups you could have made for Tyson Fury than Derek Chisora. And you've got to ask yourself, does Derek Chisora really have a realistic shot at winning this fight against Tyson Fury? And, I think that his chances are worse now than ever. I think that he had a better chance in the first and in the second fight. Why? Because Derek Chisora is now like 40 years old, and what is the first thing to go? And what have we noticed that has left his arsenal? And by the way, he's 38 years old, not 40 just yet. But his legs are gone. Like, to me, he's got about 2 to 3 rounds to really put a hurting on Tyson Fury. After that, I think it's going to be one-way traffic for Tyson Fury. And even if you look at Derek Chisora versus Kubrat Pulev, look at how many times, or in the rematch against Joseph Parker, because Derek Chisora is the bull in the china shop, and he made life absolute hell for Joseph Parker in their first fight, and that wasn't that long ago. That was May of 2021, and he made life hell for Alexander Usyk in October of 2020. That was not an easy win for Alexander Usyk. I thought that could have been close heading into the scorecards. So when his bull in a china shop style is working, it's really working and presenting all types of difficulties. But Alexander Usyk is like 6'3". Joseph Parker is somewhere between 6'2", 6'3", maybe 6'4". I mean, he's listed as 6'4", so maybe 6'4". But Derek Chisora is about 6'2". Tyson Fury is 6'9". And again, Derek Chisora, when he was at his best, he was able to use his legs to stay kind of low, to be able to keep on collapsing the pocket, to throw those hard overhand rights and just smack you with just those looping hard shots, wide shots, looping shots, just a bunch of punches to the body and up top. But unlike Kubrat Pulev, who in their rematch where Derek Chisora won a very important split decision win, like that is what kind of paved the way for Derek Chisora to get an opportunity like this. The fact that he got that decision win against Kubrat Pulev earlier this year. But Kubrat Pulev is about 40 years old, 41 years old. So Kubrat Pulev was always there to get hit. He didn't have great legs either. So Derek Chisora is kind of like, no, you come this way. Kubrat Pulev is like, no, you come this way. So they're basically like within striking range for damn near the whole fight. So Derek Chisora doesn't have the legs that were allowing him to kind of move quickly into range and then throw punches and to keep on coming with the legs. Tyson Fury is not going to let Derek Chisora just keep on getting within punching range. He's going to keep on jabbing. He's going to move just enough to keep Derek Chisora, having to kind of take shots and look for opportunities to throw big old. It's going to look clumsy. I think it's going to look really bad by like the 4th, 5th, 6th round for Derek Chisora, or 7th and 8th if he even makes it that far. I think he's going to look like he's just winging, trying to throw one Hail Mary after another, because I don't think he's got a way of sustainably and over time repeating the process to keep on collapsing the pocket. He just doesn't have the legs at this stage. Tyson Fury might not have the legs that he had 3 years ago, 4 years ago, but he still has better legs than Derek Chisora. And Tyson Fury's the type who, again, he'll go on his back foot, make you kind of sit on the outside, then he'll set you up for some nice, look at the way that Tyson Fury's been throwing his right hand in his last few fights since being under the tutelage of Sugar Hill Stewart, the descendant of, or the nephew of Emmanuel Stewart, Kronk Jim. Look at how much more zip Tyson Fury has had on that right hand lately. And the way that he throws uppercuts, sneaky uppercuts, like the way that he caught Dillian White in that last fight, and just the way that he mixes up the jab and he'll turn it around into a hook. I just feel like it's going to be target practice for much of this fight for Tyson Fury. And if he even wants to change things up and then to come on his front foot and then put his weight, his 270 plus pounds on Derek Chisora and make that an issue, he can do that as well. That's the thing here. Like, Derek Chisora might look like the bully and might have the fight style that makes him look like he's like the wrecking ball here, but he's not nearly as big as Tyson Fury, weight-wise or height-wise. Tyson Fury weighs much more than Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora is probably going to be giving up like 30 plus pounds here. And he's like a half a foot, at least a half a foot taller than Derek Chisora. I just think that this is going to be a terrible matchup for Derek Chisora, as again, his legs are not what they were, so he's not mobile. He's just going to be standing there. Before you know it, it's going to be Derek Chisora with his back touching the ropes, just getting, lit up by Tyson Fury. This fight is going to go however Tyson Fury determines that it's going to go. If he wants to start just putting flurries on him and really start punishing him by like the 5th, 6th round, I think he could do it. I think if he wants to allow this fight to extend some more rounds and let it go into the 8th or 9th, it's not going to be pretty. Derek Chisora is going to, I think, look terrible by the middle rounds, but Tyson Fury can do that if he wants to carry this out into the 8th, 9th round. But I think he's going to more or less beat up Derek Chisora, or he's going to outbox him in the first couple of rounds, because again, I think that Derek Chisora has a small window to where he still has fresh legs to land something big, right? To land a huge shot. And Derek Chisora has good power. He doesn't have great power. That's another thing. I mean, he did knock Joseph Parker down in like the first 10 seconds of their first fight. Literally, he just walked across, bang, hit him, dropped him in the first few seconds of their first fight. But he doesn't have like, in the top 10 percentile in the heavyweight division when it comes to punching power. He just doesn't. And so he's got a couple rounds to do some good work against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, I think, is going to win the rounds, but I think they'll maybe be a little bit closer. Maybe Derek Chisora sneaks a winning round in there. But again, by the 4th or 5th round, it's going to be all Tyson Fury. And I've got Tyson Fury winning this one by, I would say, mid-round stoppage. We'll say, I think he's going to get him out of there by like the 7th, if not 7th, 8th round. I don't think that this fight is going to go into the 9th round. This is kind of a fight that really doesn't need to happen. And because of the styles and because of their ages, this fight is probably going to be more one-sided than the first and the second fight. We'll see if Derek Chisora can make this one more competitive than either of those two. I don't think right now he's built for it, because he really looks like he's got near 40-year-old legs. Again, rewatch Derek Chisora in his last fight against Kubrat Pulev and watch his legs. Look at his mobility, especially after those first couple or few rounds, and let me know if you think he's got a shot against Tyson Fury in this trilogy fight. But yeah, let me know what you think about this one. Let me know if Tyson Fury does handle business like he should against Derek Chisora. Do you think this is going to turn into the battle for undisputed between Tyson Fury and the holder of the other 3 belts, the undefeated Alexander Usyk? That fight is just super important for boxing, straight up. It might not be the most fan-friendly fight. Like, I would rather watch perhaps like Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. To me, that's still my favorite heavyweight fight that I would want to see made. But in terms of the importance and in terms of like the history, Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk has to happen. Do you think it happens, and do you think the schedules will line up for it to happen, say, in the first 4 months of 2023? It's just hard to believe that Tyson Fury is going to have that fast a turnaround after fighting in December. It's just tough to see him pivot that quickly and then do something in March or April. But it looks like Alexander Usyk's going to be ready by like February, March. So we'll see how the schedules line up. I just hope that none of the sanctioning bodies mandate that Alexander Usyk defends his title against one of his current mandatories, like against Philip Ergovich or somebody like that, or like Joe Joyce. I hope that it's not mandated before Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are into the fight talk. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.